Okay, so this one is another fix the error. One error, one mistake. What's the mistake and what code would you do? So what code would you put in? So give it a go first and then I'm going to go through it with you guys. Okay, so we want to input 50 numbers. We know it's a repeat loop. And in my last video, I told you in pseudocode with repeat, you use until. So does it have until? Yes, it does. Does it stop when it gets to 50? Yes, it does, because it's got the equal sign. It'll stop when it get count equals bigger than or equal to 50. So that's fine. It says here that positive numbers entered are stored in the positive number array. So pos num equals square brackets. Neg num, which will store the negative numbers, are stored in the negative array. We've got a positive count and negative count. So pos count, negative count. And that will go up by 1 every time we enter in a positive or negative number. So if I type in 4, positive count will equal 1, and we'll put 4 in here. If my next number is -4 going here, and negative count will go up by 1. If I enter in 5, that is what should happen. If we go through here, input number, if number is greater than 0, pos count goes up by 1. Correct, it does that. Put the number into position 1, because pos count will be 1 to begin with, into the array pos num. That is great. So the first number, pos count should be 1. If we did this to start off with. So if you're typing 4, pos count's 1, put it into position 1. Perfect. Next number, 2. Pos count goes up by 1, so it's 2. And put it into position 2. Great, that's what that does. Otherwise, else, any other number will count as a negative number. So if I put -1, negative count goes up by 1. And it goes into position 1. Brilliant. Once it's done that, count goes up by 1. So this variable called count, which starts on 0, the first, so we've done it 3 times now, so it should be 3. Nice and easy. But we have an issue. It says at this bottom line, zeros are not included in a positive count or negative count. So let's imagine I typed in 0 this time. So input number, 0. Is 0 bigger than 0? No, it's not. So, because it's not bigger than 0, it's going to skip this then, pos count, pos out. So, it's going to go to this else. So, any other number, if it's not bigger than 0, do the negative. So, I put in 0. Negative count is going to go up by 1, so it's 2, and it's going to put it into here. But it says here, 0 is not a positive number or negative. So, we've got to fix this code. So, what we need to do, if we're going to fix this code, is the following. We've got if number is greater than 0, then pos count plus 1. Pos num. You don't have to write all of this out in the exam. I'm just doing it to make it easier. Pos count number. Now we could do this. Else if, so that's the same as elif, but in pseudocode it's else if number equals 0, then we can just output ignore. But that's not really what it wants us to do. It doesn't say output anything, so we're not going to do it that way. So else if number is less than 0, then neg count equals neg count plus 1, neg num, neg count, number. So we've got if number is bigger than 0, do this. Else, if number is less than 0, do this. And we can just simply do else for the final bit. In fact, we don't even need to do an else. That would be it. Because any other number, and this won't run. So if we type in 0, none of this will run. And we can just do our count. Count equals count plus 1 until count blah 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 blah. Okay. So if we typed in 0 now, will this run? No. Will this run? Whoops. No. Therefore, we haven't increased positive count and we haven't increased negative count. And that's what it says here. Zeros are not included in the positive or negative counts.